course, who get the direction right in the non-farm payrolls make, I don't want to say a fortune, right? I mean, I don't think it's a professional word, a fortune, but they actually make decent money from the non-farm payrolls. Once you get the trend right, then usually the trend actually continues. You know, it's released at 1:30 BST. Then you have the opening of the US market at 2:30 BST. So you have another impact. And then you have the fixing in London at 4 o'clock BST. So it's extremely important. What we have now is the same thing, but in Canada. Canada, we don't have a farming, well, I guess they are including the farming sector. I don't know how many farmers are there in Canada, but we have the employment change. How many more new employees were added to the market, and what is the unemployment rate? Is anyone here from Canada? Anyone? Just say yes. You don't have to say no, but just say yes if you are. Anyone here from Canada? Maybe Montreal or Quebec? Anyone from Canada? No, no Canadian in the room today. Right. Has anyone ever worked in Canada? Anyone ever worked? No. I have a colleague that actually got married about a year ago and is now living in Canada in a place called Kitchener. What they have in Canada, they have what is called Canadian experience. Canadian experience, that means if, let's say, for example, you are a technical engineer, right? Giving you an example, and you want to work in Canada. If you don't have Canadian experience, that means you didn't work with Canadian people before in Canada, and they are unlikely to accept you for some reason. They have a very strict policy in Canada about, don't ask me why. I mean, if the guy is qualified, then it's fine for the position, but they insist on Canadian experience. He told me that it's difficult, at least in Kitchener, to find jobs. I mean, even for Canadian people, I mean, his wife is Canadian and she's also having a hard time finding a job there. She just got a job, I think, several weeks ago. But things that aren't going so great. And if you bear in mind the recent economic data that came from Canada, I'm just going to look back for this week. You have right here, NHPI came 0.2%. If you don't know what it is, you click on the yellow box and it explains exactly what it is. If I'm going to look, if I want to filter the screen and just to see releases from Canada, non-farm payrolls. I'm going to type it, payrolls. If I go to filter, right, I just select Canada. You say I can do it from here. Filter. You see everything was relatively bad. You see minus 10%, 48.4%. This is contraction, actually. Now we have the employment. Also the housing, but this is, I don't know how much impact this will have because this is the major announcement. If this figure disappoints, the Canadian dollar will be heavily sold in the markets. What we're going to try and do is use support and resistance to try whether we can actually predict where the market will go. Now, I'm not a prophet, right? I don't know where it will go, but we're definitely going to give it a shot. I have a question. Yes, I do have a question. Long question. Okay, I have a question about Forex factory news. For example, after the news came in Euro-dollar, went sharply up. So what comes quickly up should go down soon. Sometimes it happens after the quick raising, it goes down. But why sometimes after the news came in, the price is still growing for about 25-45 minutes? So how to predict when the price after the news will go down or still continue rising? Of course, I apologize for my bad English. The first thing you need to determine, excuse me, can you hear me better now, Alvin? Right, the first thing you need to determine, or the first thing you need to do is what news? What kind of news? Is it going to be employment data? Is it going to be inflation data? Or it's going to be housing data? What news? Not every news you're going to see a significant movement. But let's say there are, and there is a significant movement. You have to, it's really doing 1 + 1. But if you say the IV PMI, this was expected to rise, right? This was 55.3. This was the 7th of August, a couple of days ago. The market, the expectations were a rise again towards 56.3, and the actual figure was 48.4. Now below 50 indicates a contraction. So the market expected further gains, and instead there were declines worse than the last month. So I can tell you, without even looking on the chart, that the Canadian dollar was sold for several hours. This was, or even into the Asian session to the next day. This wasn't just for 5 minutes. It wasn't. And remember, 7th of August, it's about 3 o'clock BST. I'm going to just to show you the chart, so you'll see. Right, I'm going to go to dollar USD, dollar CAD, right, against the Canadian dollar. I'm going to look for the 7th of August. I think it was here. No. It was here. No. So this is the 8th of August. Where's the 7th? Right, so dollar CAD wasn't the best. I'm going to show you other pairs. The dollar itself is different, but these were the gains from the announcement. Sharply lower, small correction, then pretty much sideways. But this is to do with a weak US dollar. It's something else. If I'm going to open the Euro CAD, for example, now this is already the 8th of August. It's over here. You can see there was a spike higher, then it just kept rising slowly. I'm going to open the CAD against the yen, the Canadian dollar against the Japanese yen. Let's see if I have it here. I do. If I look for the 7th, we said, right? 7th of August. It's about here. From here, right? We can see that the declines and the weakness continued. Now, what is happening in the market at the moment? On one hand, the dollar CAD may not be the best pair for trading on the announcement. Sure, it is going to give a spike, either way, higher or lower. But maybe the Euro CAD or the Pound CAD or the Australian dollar against the CAD is the Canadian dollar will actually be better pairs for trading. But this is if I want to, by the way, change the filters. Go here, go back. I do default, remove filter. That's it. Right, non-farm payrolls. Right, so this is, I hope that answered the question. It's not every announcement. So we're gonna have a release in about half an hour, 40 minutes from now in Canada. I want to show you how an analysis is done. Dollar CAD, right? So we have huge or significant declines, right? As you may see, significant declines in the dollar CAD, small retracement, and then further weakness. Now, you know, support and resistance are not always straight. They can also be diagonal, right? Right. Doesn't have to be straight. We said they have to be straight. I didn't say that it has to be horizontal. So what you could have is something like this. Now, this low may have been enough, could have been enough, and from here, perhaps there will be some gains. Maybe. I don't know. Right? Now, because I'm uncertain, I'm going to look at other pairs that traded against the Canadian dollar. I'm going to go to Aussie CAD, which shows us a different chart, right? The Aussie CAD on the hourly chart, I don't know if I can call it a pennant or a triangle. This is another pattern we really need to discuss in some other session. If you can get this, we have a triangle. You can see you have 1, 2, and from here, if it breaks above this line, we'll actually expect to see further gains. I don't have a signal yet. I don't know. This is called a pennant. Of course, if it breaks below, likewise, we'll expect to see further weakness. If it breaks above, it's further gains. So the Aussie CAD is unclear, right? Even though it's rising, it doesn't really make a difference. Let's see what we have in the Euro CAD. This is an hourly chart. So the Euro CAD is falling much lower. Now I can't really say, right, this is going to be like here. I don't know. And in this case, it's going to be something like this. So whether this line will hold is another question. So the market is preparing for the announcement. I know there's going to be a big movement, but I'm not sure yet where it will go. The only one that gave a better signal is the dollar CAD. But we are going to wait. Let's see what else we have. So we did Aussie CAD, Euro CAD. Let's see what we have in the pound CAD. Do I have it in front of me? I don't think so. I'm going to go to more instruments. I'm going to open interbank FX, the pound against the Canadian dollar, add, okay. Right, so the pound CAD, it's pretty much the same, but this is different. This is slightly different. 1 second. Right, this is actually more tricky. This could indicate further weakness. It could, yes, rather than a rebound. I don't know. Nevertheless, what I do have, and I can see the support level is not that far. Horizontal freehand about here, roughly, right? So what we could have from the announcement, maybe it's going to be spike lower and then a rebound higher. Maybe. I don't know. So when the trade is a bit tricky, right? I'm going to go back to dollar CAD because over there I had the clearest signal. I'm going to use an indicator called the Relative Strength Index, right? RSI. The Relative Strength Index is measuring the buying and selling pressure in the market. Now, if you notice, this is supposed to be monitoring following the graph. It's actually pointing higher. The graph is pointing lower. This is positive divergence. That means the dollar CAD should actually start rising. The signal, if you're more conservative, once it breaks above this line, which is the resistance, then you will expect to see further gains, but there's a high possibility that the dollar CAD is going to trade higher. And this is actually pretty good. This is not bad. This is actually pretty good, I have to say. So the question is whether the dollar CAD, whether this will be a US dollar strength, or if this is going to be a weak Canadian dollar. Unfortunately, I am unable to determine it in other pairs. I don't. Aussie CAD, it has to break above, it hasn't done it yet. Maybe the CAD yen. I didn't see this. No, not really. The CAD yen is a bit more tricky, but you do have a minor. It's about here. See, I'm doing it fast because I got my eyes used to this. I have a potential support at this price. But it looks like, if you want my opinion, that the Canadian dollar will weaken, and it looks like the dollar CAD maybe the best pair for trading. If I'm uncertain, I'm even considering to open an option on this. Let's see what expiration I have for dollar CAD. Just wanna, I'm not recommending, by the way, you don't have to open a trade because I opened, right? It's no recommendations. If you wish to go for this, it's your call. I don't see dollar CAD. Here we go. Dollar CAD. Let me just see the expirations. I have to give it, it's either by the announcement or after the announcement. I'm even considering doing a trade before, but if I go until the end of the announcement, this is the difficult part in binary options. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be a bit more devious. I'm going to try and take this on a shorter expiration. I want to see if I can do multiple trades on this before the announcement. Look on a 15-minute chart, right? And I see that I do have a certain support right here. You see this? Right here. Now, I kind of missed the price I wanted to enter. This is 15 minutes. It's not good enough for me. If it would have been a lower price, I can pull off a 5-minute expiration on this. But it has to be a bit lower than the current price. If I use a 5-minute chart, it's a waste of time. You see, if I'm able to catch it from a lower price, I can just keep pumping in high options. The issue with this is that it needs to retrace slightly lower, slightly. But it is giving an entry in 30 minutes from now to the announcement. What do you think? I'm very keen on actually taking this. I'm just thinking what expiration to use. Of course, if I could be wrong, sure, trading is not 100%, right? But this is just the indication I am receiving. If I'm going to go to EuroCAD, you know what? Let's say it's going to be Canadian weakness for a moment. EuroCAD is falling, you see? That means the dollar is actually stronger. Now, if I want to, oh, there's a support level right here. It's a 5-minute support. Oh, this is tricky. Can I take this with a 15-minute expiration? I think I can. 15 minutes, 3 candlesticks. I'd prefer if I have 20 minutes. Where's the EuroCAD? Where's the EuroCAD? Here it is. I'm going to give this a shot. I just want to highlight that I'm not really able to go 320. I'm not recommending or advising, just based on the analysis I've done, and I may be wrong. It is going to give me 15 minutes. One second, one moment. I think I can take this. 20 minutes, maybe it's an extra 5 minutes. Worst case scenario, I'll exercise the early closure. But it looks like this is going to be supported. It's a few seconds. Now the candlestick chart has closed. Right, I'm going to take this as an example. Maybe right, maybe wrong. We do a high option. We're giving it a short expiration, 20 minutes. And we'll see. We'll see if the analysis is worth anything. I'm trying to catching it from this point, from 15 minutes. I'm bearing in mind, I know that it looks like it's dropping, but I'm giving it from this point to rebound higher. And I gave it 20 minutes. 20 minutes means 4 different candlesticks based on a 5-minute chart. Based on a 5-minute chart, try to catch it from here. It's a cross. There is weakness at the moment. I'm going to go to the dollar CAD. Dollar CAD so far is holding. That means this is actually a strong US or a weak euro. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stay until the announcement just to see how it went. I'm going to go into dollar CAD. This is an hourly chart, and I'm going to open a trade in dollar CAD as well. I think I'm going to miss this, I think, but yes, I'm going to give it until I'm missing this. Oh no, I missed the entry. You know what? I'm going to try anyways. I'm going to give it a high option. Right, we're going to go a high. I'm giving it until the end of the hour, which is going to be the announcement. Just being very patient. We have a sudden drop. I think this is enough to take this. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I think this is a better entry. I'm taking this as a high option into the declines. I'm picking it from the bottom, and I'm going as a high option into the decline. I'm giving it until the end of the hour. I'm trying to catch it from here. And we're letting the trade roll. Euro dollar is falling. Dollar CAD is holding. There was an announcement. The CAD yen is holding from the minor support. That's fine. No, I'm not recommending. No, I'm not allowed to recommend or advise, but I am taking this. I explained why. I tried to catch it from the bottom into the declines. It actually gave me a better entry. Euro CAD, I'm assuming, dropped a bit more, right? It looks like a big drop. Nevertheless, this is a cross, so I'm not so concerned by this. The Euro CAD, this is an hour expiration, yes, but in 28 minutes, I will know exactly where the wind is blowing. You have a major announcement coming up. Well, look, I can't say usually win, right? But we're going to see. We're going to see where the market will take us. I'm not recommending. I explained my reason. I think I took dollar CAD at a good price. It's a relatively good price for taking the trade from the bottom. I gave it an hour. I know that you're saying declines and you say, Matti, are you sure? But yes, I'm still going. This is a 5-minute chart. Remember, I gave it plenty of time. What do you think? Well, I explained my reason for my entry, why I gave this announcement or gave this trade an hourly expiration. This specifically I gave 5 minutes in case you think this is a huge drop. If it did it in 5 minutes, it can also correct it in 5 minutes. It's not a major drop. Let's say the dollar CAD. Dollar CAD we took somewhere from here, roughly. And we're going to see. So euro dollar dropped, retraced. I don't know why it dropped so much. Usually it does that when there are announcements. Usually, but I didn't really pay attention to this. I could have entered another trade from the bottom, but I don't think I need to do this at this stage. I'm going to go to the calendar. There wasn't an announcement, right? No, we do have an announcement soon though. The housing starts. I'm not sure how much impact it will have, if at all. Dollar CAD, we're in. We took it somewhere from here. The Euro CAD itself, it's fine. It's retraced higher, not enough, but we have another 15 minutes. I want to see if it's a Canadian. Oh, the Aussie CAD is on the rise. New Zealand dollar is rising. Euro dollar is holding. Alright, it's a weak US dollar, so it's fine. It has nothing to do with the Canadian dollar. It has nothing to do with the Canadian. This is we have the London fix. We're the ECB fix in 10 minutes. I'm guessing there's a high demand for euros, or the dollar is just being sold. But I'm not concerned by this. After the announcement, we will see. But Euro CAD is the one that is currently holding. We have another 10 minutes to go. Our entry is around this price. I'm not concerned because it's a cross and it has some wild movements. You'll see what I mean in a moment. We took it somewhere from here. Dollar CAD itself, small drop and retracing. Have to be patient with those things. Go to Euro CAD one more time, that's fine. It's fine, so we could have another support right here at this price. You see we have two different points. That means there should be gains in the next 10 minutes. If there are any questions, you can always ask, of course, but dollar CAD shouldn't be concerned. The Euro CAD, I didn't give an expiration until the end of the hour. So, of course, I would love to see the retracement taking place in the next 5 minutes, just 5 minutes before the announcement. The entry is around here, somewhere around this price. Dollar CAD is fine, it's holding. I don't know where this drop came from, but I'm guessing it's to do with the fix. Aussie CAD retraced and is gaining it all back. The pound is rising, there's a high demand for GBP as well from the fix. Do you know what fixing is, by the way? I'm sorry, I keep saying fix. I don't know if you actually... Do you know what the fixing is, by the way? You can say no, you can say yes. Anyone knows what's this fix that I keep saying? London fix or... Right, why no one asked? Yes, no, not quite. Well, they are fixing the currency rate. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you're living in Germany, right? And you want to buy some goods from the US. Want to buy some goods from the US. Now, you don't buy, you know, for $1,000, $2,000. You're a company. Let's say you want to buy equipment for $300 million. And because you live in Germany, your currency is euro. So when you make the payment, usually via bank transfer, the bank takes the 300 million or takes the amount in euros and converts them into US dollars. This is actually selling euro dollar. Now they do it in certain hours. This is when the central bank determines the rate for the day, because the currency rates constantly move. So it's done at the fixing hours. And the London fix is in about 5 minutes, but usually it starts going crazy 30 minutes before. So between 1:45 BST and 1:15 BST, you see big movements because of the fix that take place in Europe. Then you have one more in London that takes place. This is in the London Central Bank that takes place at 4:00 BST. This is the fix, and that's why I'm guessing we saw the sharp movement lower, but I don't know, I'll be honest. I have no idea. We're going to discover it, I guess, in a few moments. So it's very, if you're looking for wild action between 1:45 and 1:15 BST, this is the hours to, it doesn't have to be the euro, right? It can be any currency, but usually it tends to be the euro, and in the London fix it's usually the pound. Although, like I said, it can be any currency. The dollar CAD is rising. I think we are getting close to our entry, right? We are at the entry for the dollar CAD. Euro CAD, we have some distance, but again, we have time. Dollar CAD is back in the green. It's not Not surprising, no. So dollar CAD is there. We do have time. Of course, you have the early closure to exit from both trades if you wish. Euro CAD will still have some distance to cover. Not a huge distance, no. I know you say, what, 10 pips is a lot, and nothing crosses. So what that actually means that the announcement in 4 minutes time will dictate, will determine the fate of our trade right here, although it's marked yellow. But I think it will seal the fate of Euro CAD. But we'll see. We have time. Euro dollar suddenly drops. So we're going to wait and see. It's 3 minutes to the announcement. It has 3 minutes. It has to, now it needs to be above this line. Now all these small movements are not really significant. They just need to see a push higher or lower. If it's going to, if once the announcement we enter the last 5 minutes and no significant impact was seen, then there is a high probability this trade will expire out the money. I just need to see a spike in the next, once the release is out. But the entry, again, it reached the support. In this case, it actually broke below. So I'm just counting, or I hope the retracement higher will take us to our entry. All that's happening now, I don't think it's much significant. It's just what will happen in 3 minutes time. This will seal the fate. Now dollar CAD erased all its gains and it's now falling. That means euro dollar. No, it's not euro. Let's see the Aussie CAD. This is already the Canadian dollar now. So there's a small Canadian dollar is strengthening ahead of the announcement, which is in about 2 minutes. Doesn't mean anything on the announcement itself. But the main concern is actually on the Euro CAD because we don't have much time. This is not a huge distance. CAD has negative news. Oh, it came worse than expected. No, it didn't come worse than expected. It's not out yet. It's out? This is out already? Really? Well, they released it early? Oh, there's been a revision, right. So there's been they released it, they released it 2 minutes earlier. So that was the spike that we saw. So it actually revised this figure to, okay, for some reason it's showing 193. I guess they don't do the points, so they rounded it up. So that was the spike high. It was released 2 minutes earlier. Right. Now, unfortunately, it means I'm going to have an issue with this trade because there was a spike higher, but nevertheless it wasn't able to stay there. I'm going to have an issue. I am going to have an issue with the Euro CAD unless they're going to release it early as well. But it came negative, which should help us. Nevertheless, it's not happening. We're entering the last 5 minutes of the trade. Now, from a fundamental angle, the Canadian dollar should weaken. It should, right? The release came under expectations. Nevertheless, because of the employment data, I'm not so sure it will have the strength to do this recovery. Dollar CAD, I'm not really overexcited by this, but it's just the Euro CAD itself. I don't have time. I don't. I'm actually short of time. How much does it need to gain? About 10 pips, which is not much. $10 pips. We'll see. It's 15 minutes to the announcement. Of course, if you're unsure or you want to exit in the trade, you can. right? It does offer the ability. I think it's going to close in a few minutes, but we're going to wait and see. The announcement, of course, if I got it all wrong, which of course can happen, right? If I got it all wrong, then the Canadian dollar may strengthen. Remember, technical analysis, and unfortunately, it doesn't have 100% success. But nevertheless, I am willing to give it a shot. EuroCAD, the odds, I'll be honest, are against us. But nevertheless, if it is released earlier, or much earlier than expected, then we are going to see a big spike higher. Some kind of a spike, and that spike will take us in the money. We have time. We're seeing some gains, right? Some gains. Let's see if they will continue. It's going to EuroCAD suddenly. We're not that far. We're about 8 or 6 pips from our entry. We have 3 minutes to go to the expiration. Now, time is against us. I guess now it's up to the market. It's up to the market. Dollar CAD is rising as well. This is a weak Canadian dollar. It's about, hey, it's not that far. I just need to see one spike, one big spike, and that will take us to our entry. We're now 4 pips, 5 pips from our entry, based on the recent gains, and we're out of time. How do you think this will expire, by the way? How do you think? Right. It's going to be, I think, much closer than you think. It's going to be a close call. It's going to be very close. It's going to be close. I know it looks, we have 2 minutes to go. I know it appears to be still far, but the spikes this thing can do, I guess it's not to the last minute. If in the last or in the next 50 seconds we don't see a substantial move or push higher, and it's almost over. It's almost over. It's almost. It needs to break much. We're not that far from our entry, just so you know. 71.8. We're not that far. We're actually very close. Now it's down to the last minute. The last minute doesn't look great. Dollar CAD, again, I'm not much concerned. I'm played on the announcement over here. This is the greater concern. We don't have much time. We don't. We are down to the next 30 seconds. If we're going to pull this off, I don't know how we'll do this, but there's literally no time for this. Even if it's going to rise and gain and push higher, it doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't. This trade, we're going to take loss on the Euro CAD. It's down to the dollar CAD. Now, I'm not going to overtrade because we have a session for this, but in Euro CAD, it's going to be out the money. Dollar CAD is back in. This is a different, it was in, I guess. Dollar CAD is a different story. Euro CAD taking loss, which is fine, right? Not expecting to profit on every trade. Of course, it's very tempting to re-enter, but I'm not going to turn this into a live trading session. But nevertheless, despite the strong weakness, the trend is still pointing higher. Despite this, I don't know where the selling pressure came from at 1 o'clock BST. Not sure where, but still appears to be pointing higher. So we're going to wait for the announcement. I'm not going to re-enter. If you wish to re-enter, it's your decision, but I'm still maintaining that the outlook that the Canadian dollar should actually weaken. So dollar CAD, this is the trader we gave more time. This trade is back in the money. EuroCAD, the time was too short, so it wasn't able to do this. We're just going to wait for the announcement, but I got one trade in dollar CAD. I explained the reason for my entry. I think I took it from a good price. After all, even if the Canadian dollar is weak, the weak euro is weighing on this. So dollar CAD, maybe even the Aussie. No, the Aussie cannot either. The dollar CAD, like I thought in the beginning, although I tried giving a shot to the euro CAD, gave the better entry. There's 2 minutes to the announcement. Now it's going to be a big movement. It's going to be one big movement. It could go up, it could go down. I'm not attempting to be a prophet, but based on what I've done, it appears that the Canadian dollar should weaken. This means Euro CAD, Pound CAD, Aussie CAD, and so on. It's not limited. Whether you wish to go for this or not, it's your call on this. It's your call, but it appears because dollar CAD is pointing higher, it appears that the Canadian dollar will weaken against several currencies, which means a negative announcement. I may be wrong. It's important that you know I'm not a prophet, right? But we're going to find out in less than 10 minutes. If you have any questions, I guess this is the time. Yeah, that trade, we managed to get it off a good price. That took us in the money. EuroCAD didn't make it. I'm tempted to enter it again, but again, if I'm going to turn this to a live trading session, I'm going to be here for another hour or even a couple of hours. If you're uncertain what will happen and you are in the trade, you can always use the early closure for exiting the market. But it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happened to the pound against the Canadian dollar. Right. It's very tempting. You say it reached the support no, it hasn't reached the support, but it's very close. Very close to it. It's very tempting. Very tempting. Very tempting. But we're going to see what an impact this announcement will have, and remember it for next month. It's only released once a month. If you think the opposite as me, which is fine, you can say, look, Matti, I think this will go down. You can do a put option if you wish. What you need to do, if you want to profit from the announcement, trade pairs that you have early closure, right? You have early closure. The expiration is going to be by the top of the hour. That means the next 35 minutes. And just use the early closure for exiting the market. But did anyone take another trade in the Canadian dollar? The Aussie is much weaker. I don't know. We're seeing some declines ahead of the announcement. The pound CAD is holding. That means the dollar CAD is holding as well. It is. But did anyone take another trade? The pound CAD, it's actually not bad. Also, the euro CAD is not bad at all. Also, the dollar CAD we discussed. But did anyone take another trade? There are 4 minutes to the announcement. I don't know why the Aussie is much weaker, but again, I didn't have the signal because it needed to break outside the triangle, if you remember. But did anyone take another trade? We have what is called, or what I call, silence is golden. Did anyone take a dollar CAD trade? Dollar CAD is offering an exit with a $9 profit. If you're uncertain about the announcement, you can exit now with a profit. Mind you, if this would have been a live trading session, I may have increased some of the trades, but I'm leaving it up to you to go for this. We did offer an early closure with about 8% payout. We're going to wait for it in 3 minutes. Now, again, I'm highlighting, I may be wrong, and maybe the dollar CAD will strengthen, it will weaken, I don't know. The dollar CAD is pushing high, it's offering me a profit. It's about more than 10%, about 20% payout. If you look on the chart now, this is ahead of look at the Euro CAD, I'm sure it gains as well, right? Euro CAD is now starting to push higher, as you can see. PC said, Matti, I took the pound CAD, I'm in the money, right? Should be. I don't know when you took it, but should be. It's a few minutes to the announcement. I don't know where this spike came from. I know to trace it quickly. It's a big spike, which doesn't mean anything about the announcement. Just remember it's offered, or it is offering an early closure with, was it 20% payout. So it's always room to exit. We have 2 minutes to go. I wish everyone good luck. This is the announcement. I hope it's going to be released earlier as well. Just double check it wasn't released. No. If you're uncertain, you can exit. If you're in the trade, I wish you all good luck. Let's see what the market will give us. We're about 1.5 minutes to go. If you haven't entered, it's not too late to enter because you're going to profit over an announcement. But it's your decision if to enter at all, or how much, or maybe to do the opposite, or I don't know. It's your call. Euro CAD gains reversed. There was a push higher, then it reversed low. It doesn't mean anything on the announcement. It doesn't. We're going to wait and see. 1 minute to go. Good luck, everyone. I tried my best. One trade I got knocked out, and the other trade offered to exit with a 10 or 15, 20% payout. We're about 40 seconds to go. And I wish you all good luck. I want to be silent. I'm going to be silent. 25 seconds to go. Dollar CAD is in the money. It could go down, of course. I don't know. I'm not a prophet, but we're going to see where this will go. 10 seconds to go. Good luck. Oh, look at this. Dollar CAD spiked higher on the announcement. Can anyone tell me what was the release, please? Anyone update me? Dollar CAD, look at this. Are you watching the market? Everyone? Are you seeing this? Oh, look at this. It's so big. I can't even... Can you see this? Everyone? Can you see Dollar CAD? Can you see the Euro CAD as well? Look at this. Are you watching this? Is anyone watching this?
Yeah.
Are you seeing this? This is what actually I said. I said based on the charts, the Canadian dollar should come weaker than expected. I didn't get the best expiration for the Euro CAD, but this is how you do the analysis. Aussie CAD as well. It's everything against the CAD. This is the pound CAD. BC, I'm guessing you're in the money as well. Right? This is the pound CAD. You can see this is a Canadian dollar weakness. And that's it. Now, if you wish, you can use the early closure to take out, this is the Canadian yen. You can use the early closure to take out the money. It's not going to be over. This is a major announcement. Basically saying I took 4 trades in the money in all. How much money did you invest in each trade, BC, if I may ask? Right, Mattia used the early closure to take money from pound CAD. That's fine, that's great. Right, okay, it's a modest amount, but it's okay. Did anyone else take a trade? Anyone, please? No, no, you don't do anything in the reverse. No, no, no. This is not a standard announcement. Right, now I want to ask you a question. I'm not a prophet, right? You can take a reversal if you wish. I don't want to say no. I would try to, it's a major announcement, right? It's not something, employment data, just so you know, has a long-term impact. Just so you know. Right, how I wish I had used all my funds to take a trade. Right, well, I want to show you, now that you've seen from this webinar how you do 1+1. You saw all the data this week came below expectations. In Canada, I told you about my friend who's in Canada, and he's also finding difficulties finding a job. Right, we said, so this is kind of fundamental analysis. We also discussed about the technical side, and we said, look, the Canadian dollar looks like it's expecting to weaken. If I'm going to go to Forex Factory, just to show everyone what were the figures, the unemployment rate rose. That's because of this Canadian experience nonsense. And you can see that 30,000 actually were fired. According to this, this is not good at all. And that's the slowdown in Canada, and that's the reason for the spike. Now you saw how you know where the price will go. How long did it take me to do the analysis about the Canadian dollar? How long did it take me? Did anyone count roughly? How long it took me to do the analysis on the Canadian dollar? How long did it take? An hour? 5 hours? 10 seconds? How long did it take? Right. Agnes is saying, or Agnes, excuse me for mispronouncing it, about 5 to 7 minutes. That's it. Even it's about 5, it's even less, it's 3 minutes. I just had to explain it, so it took me a bit longer. But it just takes several minutes. So you now saw how to use technical analysis, you saw how to use fundamental analysis, you saw how this goes. Because it broke above this line, like we said, the gains are expected to continue. I don't know about end of day, it's your call. I have to really study this a bit more. I have to study it a bit more, but nevertheless it's pointing high. It means it's not over. This is just the beginning. Well, I mean, where is the support now? The resistance, the support is right here. If it breaks above this line, we might see a retracement right here, and if it doesn't break above, a rebound. What trade can I still take on this? Oh, we discussed it. You had a trade. Basically, we spoke about this for quite some time, for 15 minutes. I kept saying about the Canadian dollar. I think it's more than enough. No? Nevertheless, if you, I just want to ask you 2 things. One, how was today's session? Was it good? Was it bad? How was today's session? Hope, Anthony, I saw what you wrote earlier. These things happen. Don't get overexcited. This market is built from profits and losses. It's fine. The key is to move on. Just move on, fine. So there's one loss, you move on. You never get stuck on a trade or 2 or even 3 or 4. Only if you have a chain of 30 or 40 consecutive trades that are out of the money, it means you're doing something wrong. and you should revise your strategy. This is saying I have 5 trades, lost 1 and won 4. I need to take 1 trade before you go. Please, obviously I can't do this. I can't. Nevertheless, stay with me for a moment. We have a session called Live Trading Arena. This is a 2-hour session where we just open live trades. I explain why I enter, but I don't really explain the trading strategies. This is just about live trading. If you wish to join the session, it's a 2-hour session. It's free and it doesn't cost any money. It's called the Live Trading Arena. I'm going to give you the link. Right, it's right here. Register for it now. It's scheduled for the 15th of August. If you have any friends, by the way, it's free. It doesn't cost any money. I'm the one who's presenting it. If you have any friends that are trading binary options or that have traded before, you can tell them, if you wish, open an account with 24 option, join a 2-hour session, a live trading session. I can tell you the last session was pretty good. No, I think basically you were there. No, in the live trading arena. How was it? It was okay. No, I mean, we had 1 session and we didn't do so great, but again, I can't, out of I think 6 or 7 live trading sessions, I think overall we're pretty good. Yeah, someone said you are a money-making machine, right? No, I remember this guy. I remember. He said, yes, I remember him. He said, Matti, you are a money-making machine. I mean, we had about 3 or 4 trades in a row that were in the money. But anyways, I can't guarantee a profit, just so you'll know. I can't guarantee. I don't know how this session will be. And I just hope for the best. But it's a 2-hour session. You're welcome to join. Like I said, it's free. If you have any friends that are trading or they are considering to trade or they have traded and they don't really know, or they wish to learn or improve their success rate and profits, hopefully profits at the same time, they're welcome to join. So take care, everyone. At least we had 1 good trade for the weekend, and BC had more. Right, he opened 4 trades, 5 trades, 1 was out, that's the Euro card, but then he said, I trust this much.